And we're back.
Yeah.
Everybody, we are back. We've got crazy news about Daredevil and Marvel and this whole crazy thing. Welcome back. It is time to roll.
With the troll.
So listen, let's talk about Daredevil because this is ridiculous. Are you aware of what the hell Marvel thinks they're going to do here?
What?
Okay. Remember Daredevil had 3 seasons and they were amazing. They were
Yeah.
very well done. Maybe, I honestly think the best drama show I've ever seen. on
I
TV,
agree.
Right?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Amazing. So Marvel wants to have their cake and eat it too. They know that the fans do not want a reboot.
Mhm.
We don't want to change the actors or anything like that. We want to
For
keep
sure.
it the way it is, right? Because Daredevil was so beloved. But then again, it was pretty R-rated, right? There was a
Yeah.
lot of really... And also, spoilers for Daredevil, guys. We don't really have a choice. We got to talk spoilers here. There were a lot of things they did. Like, let's just get into it. They killed Stick, who's a major part of the whole Daredevil universe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We already saw the death of Elektra, which is usually a main focal point of Daredevil is her death and then her return.
Mm-hmm.
That was already done. The hand was already done. There's a lot of things that were already done. So I think for those reasons, Marvel basically wants to just have their cake and eat it too. They want to keep most of the same actors, not even all. They won't even commit to yes, we're definitely going to give you all the same actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's talk that they might be recasting like an actor or two, or just leaving some people out. But Charlie Cox as Daredevil and Vincent Donofrio as Kingpin
Thank
are
God.
both so the main two are definitely coming back.
Yeah.
They're going to do a new season, and it's not a full-blown continuation of the original series.
What are they going to do?
It's so weird. It's so fucking stupid. It's a sort of continuation. It's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're going to return in their same roles. These two are.
Yeah.
And then it's a different canon, but they're not completely rebooting. They're not like, they're saying some things have happened, some things haven't. They're going to cherry pick which events are going to stay in canon, which ones aren't. You can't
That
do
makes
that.
it so hard for someone like me to remember what happened and what didn't, and what is supposed to be part of the story and what's not. I get very confused when they do this.
You do have a hard time with,
I do.
with things like that. You don't even like when the grocery store will like just kind of change aisles.
Oh
with a certain product,
no, I
right?
hate that.
That throws you off enough.
I hate that more than anything. I complain at the grocery store. They move stuff around. I can't find things. It pisses me off.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I'm sorry I got mad.
Yeah, you're gonna be really, really pissed off here because to me, this is exactly what you can't do. This is the laziest way to fix the problem that Marvel's in with Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem, in case it's not clear, guys, the problem is this: Daredevil is a beloved character. And Charlie Cox is beloved in the role, and Vincent Donofrio in the role, and the show itself was beloved. But, like I said, the show not only already did a lot of big things that Marvel didn't get to do, because Marvel didn't own it then, wasn't running the show, but on top of it, the show was too dark for Marvel. So Marvel's continuity can't really keep, like, for example, when Deborah Ann Woll, who did an amazing job as Karen, I mean, she deserves to be in the same conversation as Vince and Charlie do, right?
Yes, yeah.
The guy who plays Foggy is fine, and he was great in his role.
I love Foggy.
He was great, but I don't need him. But if they lose Karen, and there's talk that they really might, or that they might recast her altogether, sorry, it's not going to fly to me. It's just going to feel like a Frankenstein version of the show.
Yeah.
That's too weird. If you write Foggy out, that's not too bad. But no, you can't get rid of her. She's got to stay. And I think what they want to do is they want to also eliminate the history where in season 1 where she killed Wesley. Remember Wesley?
Yeah.
He was Kingpin's right-hand man.
Yeah.
And best friend. She shot him and killed him. And I don't think they want to keep that in canon either. There's too many dark things from this show's past that I think they want to just skip over if they even keep her on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already sounding like how am I supposed to go into this fucking show knowing that all this nonsense is going on, knowing that we don't know which things, they're not going to give us a list. They're not going to start,
right.
Like, here's season
we need
4.
a guide.
Yeah. Here's like when you go to a play, and they hand you a program and then not that I go to plays, but I know what happens. They're going to have to do that now for season 4. They're going to be like, okay, so here's what did happen. Right. And then here's what didn't happen. Okay. And then remember this really horrific dark moment. Okay. Just forget that because this is Disney. And the weird thing is they've even gone as far on Disney Plus now to warn you that, hey, do you want R-rated content on here? They just call it mature content. And they say, do you want mature content on here or not? Do you want to lock your kids out of it? Do you want a password? So we're already at that point, which makes me think, okay, then you can just keep, since you're going to show seasons 1 through 3, then just keep the canon, right?
Yeah.
Keep the continuity. But somehow that's not enough for them to keep the continuity. Isn't it stupid?
Yeah, it's kind of like in a trial when certain evidence that's been presented is then deemed like the jury has to disregard it. Well, they can't unhear it.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. It's a very good comparison. Yeah, it's a lot like that because, right, the jury already heard it. So when you tell them, hey, don't factor that in, it's like, well, we already factored it in. To me, if they introduce a new stick, and I really think that's the real bottom line here, is I think Marvel's thinking we don't want to do without the hand. The hand was already completely defeated. And that's a big storyline in Daredevil that I don't think they want to lose. And I'm also thinking that they really want his relationship with Stick. That's an important thing. And now that he was killed off, I mean, they can bring him back. It's just, I'm imagining the actor by now is probably either not interested or maybe too old to, Glenn Scott is in his probably 80s by now, I would think, close to it. So I'm not so sure. I don't know, guys. I'm just saying, to me, you can't do this. If you're going to keep the same actors, then you need to either keep the same canon, or and you can't have some of the actors stay and some go. I guess you could do that anyway, right? You can always you can pull like a Fresh Prince and you can recast like one person. But on a show like this that's this grounded in this real feeling, I don't think you can get away with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's too weird. So if they recast, that's not going to work. And this bullshit about how Charlie Cox and Vince Donofrio both have said, oh, I'll be playing the same character, but who's had different experiences and they've been through different things and not. No, it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, it taxes my brain when they do this. I'll do my best. I want to see it, but I don't know. I don't know how they get out of some of the situations that they ended up with after the 3 years. And it was canceled prematurely, I think, but at the same time, there were some storylines like, okay, what do you do now?
Yeah, it's such an odd thing. To me, you're only going to confuse people. And let me point this out too. Right now that we're all in it and it's contemporary enough, the old show was, so we can have videos like this one and we can talk about it and rumor gets around. But this isn't going to age well because 10 or 15 years from now, when dumb videos like this one are forgotten, and no one really remembers exactly, think how confusing it's going to be for someone to watch seasons 1 through 3. And then all of a sudden there's either season 4 or a whole new show. I don't know if this is going to be season 1 of a new show or what. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to keep the same theme, that great music they had at the beginning, that intro.
Yeah.
I don't know if they keep that or do they go like a completely different vibe. They might even do 30-minute episodes for all we know.
Yeah.
It sounds like they basically think, I think this is really arrogant of Marvel. I'm calling Marvel arrogant. I think they're being really arrogant by basically saying, okay, well, we know you guys like those guys in the roles, so we'll put them in the roles and we'll just kind of do our own thing with the storyline. It's like, no, we didn't love just the actors in the roles, you dumb fuck. We love the storylines.
Right. It was a whole different, I love the whole grown-up feel of it.
Yeah, the darkness and the
darkness
Satanism
of it. And, well, I don't know about Satanism, but it was so great to have something nerdy that I really love, a comic book thing. But it took it to a darker place and it didn't feel so bubblegum. And as a grown-up nerd, I kind of enjoyed having that without having to go to the extent of like Chainsaw Massacre level. It was like the perfect mixture.
Yeah, I just don't think, I think this also sets a bad precedence.
Yeah.
Precedent. What the fuck is wrong? Sets a bad precedent. That was hard for me to say.
Precedent.
Speaking of bad precedent,
yeah,
we've got a couple of bad precedents right now, but I think it really does set the rules oddly now because what you're really saying, you know who did this honestly was kind of X-Men with their movies. They remember how the first few films were all supposed to have continuity, and then they were really fucking up by the time they did X-Men First Class, where things were happening that were clearly going against the original canon, and yet it was supposed to be a prequel. So that's when Sony started just kind of admitting, like, well, maybe it's not all in the same continuity. Who knows? And then they did the Wolverine movie, and then that fucked it up even more. And then Charles Xavier was there, but he had been killed. They didn't have an explanation for that. And finally, after a lot of fuck-ups in their timeline, not Marvel, but Sony finally just said, you know what? Each movie's just an adventure of the X-Men, and it's not necessarily connected to the others. They got to a point where they had to admit that because their continuity was just a complete mess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many things were going wrong. And I have a bad feeling now that Marvel's going to piggyback on that and just start carrying over that excuse pretty soon, where they say, continuity, schmontinuity, we don't really care. Yeah, you got the same guys in the same roles, you got the same actors. That's all you should be happy about. Just figure some things happened and some things didn't. And frankly, I'll tell you who else does this. It's not just Sony with X-Men, but comic books in general. Not comic book movies or TV shows, but comic books do that all the time. It was really hard to follow any canon because they'd change writers, and there was almost no way to force every writer on a serious timeline, a time schedule, I mean, to get the book done. To necessarily take in decades of continuity. So some writers would accidentally or purposefully undo other storylines that were supposed to be already set in motion. So the comics already did it, and then the X-Men films did it, and now DCU is also doing it. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
So I guess it's par for the course in a way, where Marvel's just saying, look, we're going
to join the club.
Yeah, we just don't care. Like, because the rest of the Marvel movies mostly interact properly and make sense with each other, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So in a lot of ways, Marvel knows that they're not going to look that bad if they just do this with a couple of shows. With Daredevil, with Punisher, if they bring Punisher back. And yeah, it sounds like that's going to happen too. Also, there's another thing. I think they want Daredevil and Punisher to meet for the first time. And that was already done on the show.
Right.
In season 2. So I think they want to undo that. I got to tell you, season 2 of Daredevil is probably my favorite season of any TV show ever.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
It's tough to say because I love Cobra Kai so much, but season 2 of Daredevil was unbelievable. So dark, so emotional. If we get another new meeting between Daredevil, if I have to forget season 2 and he meets Punisher all over again, it's the same two guys. No way. It was already done perfectly. Remember that great moment where Daredevil's all chained up, where Punisher had him chained up?
Yeah.
Right? And Punisher's talking about how he's going to kill all the other bad guys out there. And Punisher says to Daredevil, he says, oh, what? So they can rape again? So they can kill again? And he's like, no, to try again,
I
Frank.
know. It was the best scene ever.
The drama was incredible.
Yeah.
It was so true to the
comics. I want to hang on to that.
Of course. If they come along, see, this is what I mean about arrogance. Marvel thinks that they are going to go, no. We're Marvel. We're the big guys. We got it. We got this now. We're going to tell it our way. We're going to make it a little more bubblegum. We're going to throw in a cheesy joke every 30 seconds.
Oh, God.
We're going to have, hey, check out the new way we're going to handle Punisher. He's going to be smart-ass Punisher. And he's going to have funny shit to say. Oh, and Daredevil, he's quirky and quippy. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think? I can just imagine these fucking meetings behind the scenes.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how Marvel likes to operate. They don't understand darkness and depth. They understand it for a quick dabble. Like they understand, like, oh, you're going to dip your toe in it. And then we're right back to the jokes and the cheese and the bullshit.
Yeah. They can't live in that space and make it work.
No. Whereas the Netflix shows lived in that space beautifully. A little even too much sometimes. Sometimes it was so drab that Jesus, I mean, I kind of want to rewatch this at some point, and you're bringing me down. You're kind of putting some gray over my day here because, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it was so serious and had no moments of, of comic relief or anything to pull you out of it. But anyway, guys, you get the point here, right? Like, comment, subscribe. I definitely want to know what you guys think, so please hit us up in the comments. Let us know if you
hit the like button right now before you forget. Yeah,
before you forget, click the like button if you're enjoying this video, and let me know. Maybe are we being dicks? Are we just not getting, like, is there a way to look at this that's more positive? And maybe I'm just being an asshole, and maybe years from now we look back and we're like, what are we worried about? The show worked out fine. It's good. You know, I don't know.
Yep, maybe.
So let us know what you guys think. Also, let us know if you have more news on this show or anything else that Marvel's up to with the Netflix properties. We'll see you tomorrow for another great video. Thanks for supporting the channel.